how to ruin the whole KvK for at least 200 members. Unfortunately, this is the topic which happens almost every single KvK, and I wanted to speak more regarding that, right? Of course, when you check the title, you think that I'm going to teach you how to ruin, but that's actually the opposite, right? When you're gonna watch this video, I hope your alliance leaders, your alliance officers are never ever going to try to do that inside the KvK, because unfortunately, if this is going to continue, the game will simply just die, right? So hopefully this will be a good video for all the alliance leaders and officers, and they will understand that like that it's not fair and you are just ruining the fun for the players. At first, I want to speak how you can generally get fun in Call of Dragons, right? This is a kingdom builder game where you can get the troops, you can increase the levels of heroes, you can increase the skill levels, get war pets, artifacts, but unfortunately, without fighting your opponents, without having actual fun, it will be impossible for you to get anything from the KvK, right? A lot of people have been playing this game for a couple of years already, and trust me, most of the players don't care about rewards, right? Because rewards comes whenever fun is there. And there is only way in Call of Dragons how you can actually get fun. That's of course PvP open field gameplay, right? When 200 members from the one alliance and 200 members from the other alliance are fighting each other, that's the only way how you can actually get fun. When you're gonna test your heroes, your artifacts, your war pets, and in general your gameplay, right? That's the only way how you can actually get the experience in the game. Unfortunately, there are a lot of alliances, a lot of players, a lot of leaders and officers who are basically refusing to fight. And trust me, that will be horrible for the future of the game, right? Because imagine one KvK, your opponent did not come. Second KvK, your opponent did not show up. What you gonna do? You have only one choice, and that one choice is to farm, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, farming is really boring, not only in Call of Dragons, but I think in every single game which is a kingdom builder game which has a mass PvP. Well, that's the general truth, right? No matter how active your alliance is, no matter how active the members of your alliance is, if your opponent is not showing up, it will be impossible for you to have fun. Imagine you are starting the KvK, you are waiting for fun and exciting moments during the KvK, and when the Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 5 opens, you are alone there, right? Trust me, you won't gonna think about, alright, it's good, we're gonna have all the rewards in the game, but, well, that's not true, right? Most of the alliances prefer to fight rather than just get rewards and be victorious like that, right? So hopefully we understood how you can actually get fun from this game, and now I want to go into the details, right? And I think my KvK is a perfect example how you can ruin KvK for a lot of players who are trying to have fun. And I'm gonna have a perfect examples, right? And we're gonna check the alliances, I'm gonna share the stories, and you will be the judge and you will say, is it good or is it bad for the future of the game? So, first of all, let's check out my KvK and let's see what kind of alliances we are having. I want to focus at first on Dedicate Your Heart, DYH, right? This was the alliance which was the highest power alliance in our KvK. Basically, number one alliance which was super active in past KvKs, and actually everybody was expecting them to be super active, right? So there were number one opponents for the city of Moria, which we actually fought in Zone 2, right? Like first zone which you are going to fight your opponents is Zone 2. First day, well, I'm not gonna say first day, first couple of hours was a little bit fun, but then suddenly, out of nowhere, Dedicate Your Heart decided that they would stop fighting, right? We were fighting at this area, it was pretty nice, we were moving back and forth, and I already did a stream regarding that fight, but after the first day, There was a rumor that DYH, which is Dedicate Your Heart, were being disbanded. So let me share you my opinions regarding that, right? If you have internal problems inside your alliance, if you know that you have a drama, you can basically don't even go and register in KvK, because you are going to ruin the whole KvK, not only for you, but for the, I don't know, 1000 players or like 500 players. Is it worth it or not, right? If you understand that your alliance is not ready to be active, to be fighting, to have fun, right? Even if you lose fights, if you're gonna lose war, if you're gonna lose whole KvK, trust me, it's better to show up, right? It's simple as that. But if you understand that your alliance is in a bad state, a lot of players are arguing with each other, you understand that it's a ticking time bomb, right? Every single second you might get disbanded. I have no idea why you are even trying to register on KvK. You are basically registering to ruin KvK for the whole people who were trying to progress in the game, to have fun and to enjoy, right? No matter winning or losing, that's the way Call of Dragons actually work. So after the Zone 2, DYH just basically disbanded. They at least 100 members actually migrated out, and I have no idea why it's possible during the Zone 2 to alliance members to migrate out. Basically, you are ruining the whole KvK. Imagine Dedicate Your Heart was 90 billion power alliance at the start of the KvK, and now we are seeing 8 billion power alliance, right? Now you can imagine what would happen to a whole KvK. And yeah, that's the general truth. So I'm not even stopping here, right? Let's say, alright, it happens, that alliances are disbanded during KvK. You are saying, let's hope to fight even more. Whoever is left, let's fight more, right? Zone 2 is already done, and you are looking forward to Zone 3 and Zone 5. Zone 5, right? So basically, Zone 3 just started, and whenever Zone 3 starts, you have Hydra, you have Necrogiant, you have another Hydra, which means you are expecting your opponents to at least try, at least show up, at least fight, because that's the only way how you are going to have fun in Call of Dragons, right? And let me tell you regarding one alliance, which is called let's check how this alliance is called, Legion of Chaos, right? Which is LoC. So, Legion of Chaos decided by themselves that they don't even start building a single tower in Zone 3. Which means they basically decided that let's ruin the gameplay for 200 members of City of Moria in this case, but in the future, no matter what's the name of other alliance, they will ruin your fun also, right? As I mentioned, no matter you are winning or losing, showing up, that's what actually matters in Call of Dragons, right? You are at least getting merits for yourself, you're at least trying to get 12 million merits in order to get Hydra Crystal, but Legion of Chaos, or how was the name? LoC, right? LoC decided that we don't need to try to get Necrogiant, we won't gonna try to get Hydra, we won't gonna try to get our Hydra, we will just basically don't even build a single tower, at least to show up, right? At least one tower would be enough, like here, at least one tower. No. At the start of the Zone 3, they started building one tower with the 3 legions, and then basically they just removed the tower, and their decision was to go back to Zone 2 and have fun there. But which means they only care about themselves, they don't care about the healthy game of Call of Dragons, they don't care about 200 members, more than 200 members, they don't care about the rules, they don't want behemoths. Then tell me what's the reason of registration on KvK. If your main motivation is to ruin fun for other people, why you are even registering to a new KvK? Why you are even showing up into the registration, but when you actually matters, when you have to show up, you just refuse. So my advice for the future KvKs, whenever you're gonna see the alliance Legion of Chaos, understand that every single second they can literally surrender, they can literally say, alright, we don't care about your fun, we don't care about fun of the KvK, we don't care about this 3 or 2 months, however the KvK lasts, we will just play by ourselves, right? So I believe that's not how alliances should work. I believe inside the alliances there should be a lot of members who should be saying, come on, let's at least fight. The KvK is already done, number 1 alliance disbanded, let's at least have some fun. But no, not even fun, not even rewards, no nothing. They just basically went to Zone 2 and fought with the TFT. Well, I guess that's well, you can't really say much regarding that. Every single alliance has their own decision makers, but my job is to call out whoever is refusing to have fun. If you don't want to have fun in Call of Dragons, my main advice would be don't even register. Stay in your home kingdom, farm as much as you want. You can actually merit trade with your alliance members, and that's how you're gonna get your warped skills from the merit store. Whenever you're gonna feel ready, that's the time when you are actually going to register for the future KvKs, because your actions are ruining the Call of Dragons as a whole, right? More alliances we are going to have like this, worse it will be. But it's not stopping here. There is third alliance, which is called WOD, right? And WOD should be these ones, right? Let me check. Yep, LOD, but that's the alliance, which is the third alliance who basically refused to fight. Basically, we were 3 versus 3. One alliance disbanded. Second alliance is dodging the whole zones and behemoths and all the fights. And third alliance is dodging. So now I have a question how to have fun in Call of Dragons. Why you are making decisions by only for yourself when KvK is already done? Let's speak, let's make decisions, let's have at least friendly war, let's at least show your face, let us see that you are at least trying, right? But basically they decided that we won't even gonna try, we won't even gonna show up, we don't care about the game, we don't care about the fun, we only care about ourselves. So, if all these alliances are caring only about themselves, I have no choice but to call them out, because, well, then I will be thinking about myself, right? This game is created because you have to have fun in KvK. You have to try to capture behemoths. You have to try to have fun by fighting your opponents, even if you are losing. Every single time, whenever I have been in alliance, my alliances, even though we were losing, we were at least trying, right? Whenever you are not even trying to be active, whenever you are not even trying to be positive or have fun, unfortunately, you will be called out. There have been a lot of KvKs like this, and it's enough, right? It's basically enough. We have been waiting for the KvKs in Home Kingdom for 1 month. KvK lasts for at least 2.5 months, and you are basically saying that we don't care about your time, we don't care about your commitments, we don't care about what you are going to do. We are only going to think about ourselves, we're gonna disband, we're gonna dodge, second alliance gonna dodge, and yeah, you're gonna stay there, you're gonna farm. Unfortunately, migration while KvK is active is one of the most horrible aspects of the game, because basically by migrating out you are ruining the KvK for everybody, right? Well, I think Locke and the WOD will say, yeah, KvK is done, DYHS is gone, but at least show up. At least show that you have active members. At least show that, alright, DYHS is bad because they disbanded, but we are here, we are fighting, let's have fun. Well, decisions were made, and my job is to call out whenever somebody or whole alliances are basically trying their best to ruin KvK for everybody, right? And I will show you the map. Yep, this is the map. So 163, 535, 150, and 731. These are the servers who might ruin your KvK in the future. So whenever you're gonna be matched up against them, keep that in mind, that every single second they can chill and say, We won't gonna enter in zone 2, we won't gonna enter in zone 3, we won't even gonna enter to zone 5. We don't care if you are not having fun, we only care about ourselves. So, whenever you're gonna be matched up against these servers, understand that they are only thinking about themselves, so you will be ready for every single scenario for your KvK. Hopefully, this is my last time matching up with these servers, because if I'm gonna see anywhere Lok, World or DYH, I think City of Moria will be never allied with them, because they are basically the ruiners of the whole KvK, ruiners of the 2.5 months. This was the educational video for the all Call of Dragons players, what happens when at least one alliance is going to try to ruin whole KvK, but in our case, every single of our opponents basically decided that, alright, let's ruin the KvK. We don't care about the integrity of the game, we don't care about the rules of the game, we will just chill, we won't even gonna show up. So, GG's to them. I hope KvKs like this will be lower and lower in terms of amount, and hopefully developers of the game will decide something that during the KvK, when there is actually fighting, it should be impossible for the players to migrate out. Let's wait until the KvK will be over. Let's at least wait for the last week of the KvK and then open migration. I still managed to get some merits by a small fights. Basically, in the first day against DYH, I managed to get like 8 to 9 million merits, and after that, statues are only way when Lok is actually showing up, and yeah, we still got our merits, but we had zero fun. Hopefully, after watching this video, your alliances will understand that you should not try to do things like that, and hopefully, you liked the video, right? If you did, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.